Alright guys, hello and welcome to the HRL off-season blast from the past tournament. I already recorded this once, but unfortunately I messed up and thought I got all the highlights and everything saved, and this is the one thing I didn't save, which I'm kind of pissed about, which means I need to redo it here, but oh well, not the first time this has happened. Really sucks, but you know, just gonna gun our way through it, do it the best that we can. So this is gonna be the first race of the blast from the past tournament. What this tournament is, it's an 8 race, 1 night, 12 minutes, I think it's 12 minutes in a lap per race. Event here. We got a pretty good field for it. Just a little off-season event to have some fun on some of the old Grand Finals tracks. That's why it's the blast from the past tournament. All these are previous Grand Finals tracks for this nightly tournament. And we're just going to see who comes out on top with the classic point system. Green flag. Well, that was a fat jump. As we expect on Barvo, things already jumbling up here off the bat. Whoa, big 4 wide going into that corner. Vulcan ripping the outside. He got held up on Roman there at the exit of the corner. Otherwise, he might have had an insane run. That's like a 5 wide there in the middle of the track. I think we have Elite running away with the lead. Started on pole. Was able to get away from all this cheese, which is very important here on Barvo. If that second place driver doesn't contest early, it can be pretty easy to get away from the pack if you don't get that early battle going. And it looks like he was able to get away from it. So we're going to have Elite, Roman, Real Deal. That's the top 3 right now. I think that's Vulcan right there contesting for podium. Oh, that got pretty close. And then we just have a ton of fights back here. I think that's Slaunch, Opix, Luke, Detail, Sector. I mean, well, all their positions just jumbled, but pretty sure that's everybody in the pack right there. So some battles for literally 5th place right there. All those drivers trying to get into that 5th place position. Hunter there towards the back of the pack, trying to potentially work his way back into it. Justin is really getting into some battle action here. Let's go on board with his perspective. Sector coming in hot here with a double pass. Unsure if he'll be able to race too much of next season, but wanted to make it for this blast from the past tourney, and so far not doing too bad of a job. Oh, that was a nice cushion run there. Alright, Justin, alright. Let's go. See if we can keep it up. Probably not. Oh my god. So this battle's kind of settled out here for a little bit. Let's go up front on board with Vulcan. And Vulcan, we saw Vulcan potentially with like a crazy starting move at the beginning of the race. Wasn't quite able to pull it off, but he still gained a lot of position, still put himself in a good position here for the rest of the race. Now Elite got a really good start. He does have a huge lead at this point, but this race is not over yet. On one hand, this is Barvo. Like, there'll probably be a caution because Barvo things. The other factor, of course, being that Barvo does have a pretty big skill gap, and this is a long race. I mean, well, 12 minutes plus a lap isn't like super long, but that's still a lot of time, and we're still early in the race here. And a lot of mistakes are usually made at Barvo, and once the races start going for a little bit, there's lap traffic and stuff like that. So I'm sure Elite isn't going to run away with this one. I guarantee that he'll have to battle for that. And this battle's heating up. This is for podium position here. We have Luke, Roman, and Vulcan all going at it right here. Vulcan, unfortunately, gets cheesed out of that one. He's still got a pretty big gap on the drivers behind him. That's Detail trying to... Oh, got pretty close there. Trying to take position from Opix. As Luke and Roman still duke it out in front of him, and Vulcan tries to take advantage of that, but kind of pulled the trigger too early there, I think. This is going to settle out a little bit. And you see Elite working with lap traffic there in the front. Vulcan getting on Roman's bumper there. Maybe trying to force a mistake. And Real Deal may be in a position to compete for the lead here in this first blast from the past race. He's really gotten away from this pack as they've been battling, and it seems like he's also been gaining some time on Elite, and Luke goes down in front of this pack. Vulcan makes some slight contact, but nothing caution-worthy. This brings Detail back into this fight, and that just really juiced up this 3rd place battle. So that just slingshots Detail from outside the top 5 to in the top 5, looking to compete for top 3. And it forces Roman and Vulcan out a little bit and puts their top 5 position in jeopardy. You see here, Opix and Sludge catching up to Vulcan. Vulcan not wasting any time. He's going to try to get on Roman immediately. And now maybe, that was very ambitious. I think he tried to basically slingshot off of Roman and force his way into Detail as well, but not going to work out. That was a very ambitious move from Vulcan there. Could have been crazy if he pulled it off, but wasn't quite able to do it. Oh, Roman going with the block pass on Vulcan. Almost completely takes him out, and Vulcan's probably not happy with that. So watch that Vulcan-Roman battle if that occurs again later in this race. I'm sure that'll get pretty hot. Vulcan sliding in on Slaunch here again. Vulcan not... We've been on his perspective a lot. He's really not giving up on anything here. Oh, and he's going to do... That's the move he tried to do to Detail. He slingshotted off of Slaunch, got onto Roman, but wasn't able to hold the momentum yet again. Oh, that would have been such a sick move right there if he was able to make that work. But unfortunately, wasn't going to happen. There he's going for it again. And look, there it is. The immediate revenge comes in and conks Roman. I think that was fair play right there. Like, perfect revenge usage right there. Yeah, that was hilarious though. Vulcan really came in hot for that one, giving us some exciting action here for the race. Now this is actually perfect. Oh, and unfortunately, so I'll explain this quick. So unfortunately, we had the wrong game type on and we got conked, and we were about to hit the lap count, so we had to unfortunately pause the race here and get everybody's positions down so that we could get into another lobby with a fresh set of laps and finish out the race. So that was just unfortunate, but thankfully that happened right away in this first race, and we're not going to have that issue again for the rest of the night. So here we go. Because it had to be a competition caution, we decided to go with the single wide restart. We're going to have Elite leading off the field, then Real Deal, Luke, Detail, Vulcan, Slaunch, Roman, Opix, Justin, Hunter, Commando, and Shift joining the pack here. So go to the front for this single wide restart, and we're green. Real Deal immediately going to the inside. Elite electing to try to hold the outside. A ballsy move, I would say, on this starting lap. He's going to come right back into it, though. Makes it 3 wide between Real Deal, Elite, and Detail, and Elite will lead that lap. He still holds on to the lead lap, but not, not secure. His position's still in jeopardy. Still a 3 wide. He just gave Detail a ton of momentum, and now Detail is going to open up a pretty big lead here, mostly thanks to Elite. Elite came with his cushion momentum there that was so close, and basically just gave Detail a huge speed boost. Elite ended up messing up, but Detail took advantage of the boost and now finds himself with a pretty huge lead. Now it's Vulcan and Luke battling for second and third, and Real Deal's fallen out here, still in this top 5 battle, and he comes right back into it, right back into third place there with a well-timed cushion run, but this is not over yet. And Elite probably still pissed that he lost that lead spot for so long. Coming back into this, block passing Real Deal there. He is not done yet either. Wants to try to work his way back into competing for the front. Vulcan with a massive 2-wheel. Slaunch with a run off the cushion. Roman with a run off the cushion as well. And oh, was that Vulcan right there getting conked again? So Vulcan and Elite getting involved. That's going to be a rivalry that's going to go on for the rest of the night probably. And this switches things up even more so. And I'm sure we're not quite done yet. And look at this, the front two, Detail and Luca kind of opened up a lead here. So they've, kind of similar to what we saw, like different drivers, but kind of similar to what we saw with the original start. The front two kind of like just working a huge gap as the people behind them just keep duking it out. But Elite and Slaunch there in third and fourth have kind of settled it out. But this battle for fifth is just still ridiculous, and these guys got to figure this out soon, or they're going to let these front runners get away. It's Real Deal, Hunter, Vulcan, Opix, Roman, like a bunch of fast drivers here. A bunch of fast drivers and a bunch of competitive drivers in this pack for this tournament. So I'm sure we'll see it be competitive throughout the whole night. And, fun little tidbit about the schedule. We actually start and end this tournament on an oval. So we're starting here with Barvo. We don't get to the next oval of the night until the very end with Grizzly, which is just a crazy way to have this schedule play out. Hunter's sliding off the cushion there. Opix getting caught up. Roman's going to take advantage. Shift is going to take advantage. Sector's getting into it. This battle in the back is literally like anybody's game at this point. Real Deal with a crossover there on Roman. And look at this, the leaders have just gotten away at this point. That's Detail and Luke right there, and they've just really worked that gap. Elite in third is even looking pretty secure right now. And they're actually going to catch up to Lap Traffic soon. Commando Pack, it's right there. Another lap goes down. And yeah, this battle, I mean, unless there's a caution, like the front three are probably settled. The front, like, the top five's probably like settled, but literally every position outside of that is open here. These guys are duking it out, and they know that they want to, you know, lose as few points as possible, so they're not trying to let anything happen there. And this battle for the lead is heating up. Luke's now pretty close to Detail with Lap Traffic as well. So we could see a battle here for the lead. And there it is, Detail. 2 wheels on the wall. So Luke's going to go to the inside. This battle's not over yet, though. Slides into the corner, goes for the slide job. He's going to have the advantage in momentum, and Detail was not able to return the favor at the crossover, so he's going to settle in and try to set this back up. And that was a huge mistake there for Detail, just holding on to that lead with that 2-wheel on the wall. That's tough, and now he's going to have to try to work back that lead. But again, this pack that's been going insane, it looks like the leaders may even catch up to that pack and have even more lap traffic. So I'd say this lead race is not over yet. Elite, like I said, pretty solid there. And third, Vulcan has now worked his way into fourth. Well, he's going to be contested by Slaunch there, with Vulcan just really messing up that cushion line. But the fact that he's really worked his way here into fourth at this point is actually insane. Oh my god, Vulcan really going for it. Not necessarily the fastest line, but he is not leaving anything on the table here. There you go. There it is. I think at that point, Slaunch was just waiting for him to get by him. He's like, alright, you got the line. Like, are you going to hit it? Vulcan just kept messing it up over and over. And now Real Deal's creeping into this as well. A while ago, he must have got by this pack. Look at the ground that he's made up on them. There's Luke there, the leader, and Detail as well, getting into that lap traffic pack already. This race is actually getting crazy. So, like I was saying, imagine the race this week. If it ends up being a 16-man race with a situation like this, like, oh my god, it's gonna get crazy. So Luke and Detail trying to slice and dice their way by lap traffic, which may spice up that battle. And that's a lot of lap traffic to work by too. It's not the usual like 1 or 2 car pack. That's like a whole pack right there, 3 to 4 drivers. Not gonna be easy. But it looks like Luke still holds the lead here. It looks like Slaunch has fallen out of position, now in 6th place. Real Deal with a pretty crazy comeback, working his 5th place there. Vulcan even is starting to set his sights on Elite and is not too far behind, so we could even see a crazy comeback here from Vulcan. I think a lot of positions still up for grabs here in this race, not over quite yet. We get an update on the lap traffic battle there. Opix just ran a little too high, and unfortunately Justin gets caught up there. Detail thought that Opix was going to have a much bigger mistake than he actually did and tried to avoid it, and unfortunately Justin got caught up in that right there, but stays clean and green. And we're not going to have a caution quite yet, thankfully, because the way this has worked out is actually pretty crazy. Even though a green white checkered would be crazy, like, I kind of like how this scenario is working out. Detail going to work his way by Hunter there, and now he has to set his sights on Luke, who is now lapping Roman there. And I think that Luke's definitely had the advantage so far through the lap traffic. As you can see, has gained plenty of time, works his way by Roman there, and it looks like it's not working out in Detail's favor, as we're getting close to, like, I think a minute warning or so. So that battle's ending up being pretty huge. We have Elite here in 3rd. Now he's going to have to work his way through the lap traffic, and like I said before, with the comeback from Vulcan, this kind of opens up a door of opportunity for him. With Elite going through this lap traffic, same opportunity that we saw for the lead battle. Can Vulcan take advantage of this lost time? And so far it's working. Elite's having to run the middle. He's not able to get back onto the cushion line until right now. And as you can tell, Vulcan just had a great run on the cushion that lap. Elite's still having to run the inside to get by these lappers, and he's not able to do it. Vulcan is getting tons of time. He would have gained a lot more if he didn't mess up right there. He could have had a chance to be like right on his bumper, but yet still gaining tons of time. And this battle for 3rd is not over yet, as we're getting really close to the end of the race here. I don't remember what the exact time is. I think it might be last lap here, as Vulcan's getting side by side with Elite. Can he beat him in the corner, forcing him up the track? to the line, and Vulcan does it on the last lap, takes over Elite at the line, takes the 3rd place. Clutch performance there out of Vulcan. But going back to our finishing order here on the last lap. The lap traffic did not play too huge of a role for the rest of the race for the front 2. And Luke's going to come across the line in first. That might not even be the last lap there. Oh, no, it was. Detail in 2nd. Vulcan will take that 3rd. Elite 4th. Real Dill's going to hold on to that 5th. Slaunch in 6th. And Roman 7th. And a lot of positions yet to go. Is there a close finish here? I think Commando might have been a lap down, but I'm not 100% sure there. Shift beating Hunter to the line. Justin just barely beating out Opix right there. So, got pretty close at the end. So here we go, going to kick off the 2nd race of the night here for the Blast from the Past tourney. Let's go through the gate order. We got Hunter, Luke, Elite, Detail, Commando, Sector, Shift, Vulcan, Opix, Real Deal, Roman, and Slaunch in the gate, lined up to go for 12 minutes plus a lap here at the St. Louis revamped track that you'll probably recognize from 2 grand finals, actually, with slightly different versions both times. But here we are in this Blast from the Past tourney, racing a further updated version of it, which may be able to be used for future seasons, because this track's actually kind of dope now. Green flag. And really jumbled at the start as expected, but it looks like Slaunch is going to get the whole shot, and this first section is going to be a complete mess. Look at this. So 3 drivers, I think that was Shift, Sector, and Hunter went down there. Oh my god, Sector going hard into the whoops as well. A few drivers going on top of each other there in the berm as well. And almost all of them, Opix the one to not be able to make the triple. I actually thought they were all going to make it for a second. That's pretty close. Oh, Roman going down in a terrible spot right there. Commando's going to get into him. Probably just not expecting someone to go down in that exact position right there. Oh, Vulcan going down in a pretty easy rhythm. I can't believe he's going down there, of all places, into this dope little sand section here. One of my favorite new additions. Oh, Vulcan and Roman getting into each other. We see, I really like this part right here. A lot of options. Some people rolling into that. A lot of people jumping into those whoops. A lot of option there here. This crazy rhythm section. Gonna see a lot of different lines through here. A lot of different failures of lines, because a lot of these drivers probably haven't seen the track or practiced the track, and that is a very, very, very tricky rhythm if you have not seen it before. This last rhythm, a little bit less tricky, but can still be tough if you're not used to it. That's the thing, though. If I could just Control S, I would do that, but I gotta like go through the highlight. I gotta set it up. I gotta save the highlight through that. Like, it's just annoying. I'm just too lazy to do it. So top 3, clear top 3 on that first lap is going to be Slaunch, Real Deal, and Luke, and they are way far ahead for first lap. That is actually already an insane gap right there. I think we're actually going to have, is this Elite? I think we have Elite still in the top 5 here, so off to a good start, and a competitive battle there for the 5th place spot, actually, between Opix and Detail. Opix unfortunately messing up the left side of that rhythm, not going to do him any favors. Vulcan's going to come back into that battle, potentially Roman as well. Oh, and Real Deal messing up that rhythm, and like I said, we're going to see a lot of people mess up that rhythm throughout the race here. It is not the easiest rhythm in the world, and like I said, no practice, not the easiest thing. Now we have a battle here between Elite and Detail getting really tight. They're both going to mess up that rhythm, and it looked like Detail had it for a second, but then Elite messed up, came back into it, then Detail came back into it, and now we have a side-by-side battle here for this spot with Vulcan lurking in from behind. Into the whoops. Oh, Elite with a rough run through the whoops there. Vulcan's going to try to make a move in the whoops. Into the berm! And slams Elite up the berm. The Vulcan Elite rivalry continues throughout the night here on St. Louis. And Elite not ready to give up that position. You know he wants to get him back. He's just trying to keep the distance close. If Vulcan leaves something open. Oh, I think Elite was thinking about it right there. But that little blocker, he kind of like decided to not do it a little too late. Ends up losing some time there. And Roman coming in hot with a different line through the sand section. Working that berm a little bit. I like that. I like seeing some different variety there. And it looks like it actually helped him out a little bit. We're going to see some different lines through here. Oh, Roman looks like... Oh, he got caught up in Vulcan. I thought Roman was going to have a really good run right there. Eventually they all go down. Elite's going to finally lose these spots and potentially lose a spot to Opix there as well. So Elite, that's a tough lap out of him. He's going to lose 3 spots that lap. Solange still leading the field down. Real Deal and Luke still in second and third. And that top 3 is fairly close. But they are pretty far ahead. And then you have Detail, who's kind of maintained that gap. He's kind of sticking with him, but he's still got a ways to go. But then you go Detail to 5th place, and it is just ridiculous. That's 5th place right there with Roman. That's Detail over there. So that's, like, these gaps in the top spots are just crazy at this point. But we still have a lot of close battles here. Similar to the Barvo race, for these, like, outside the top 5 positions, we still have a lot of close battles. Vulcan and Opix actually duking it out there. Let's see how this rhythm goes this time. Solange was able to triple in. Potentially has a good run, but kind of over-clears at the end of it. And Luke and Real Deal having some difficulties as well. But this could be close, though. This could be the 2nd place spot. Oh, Real Deal! That was close. He got loose, and Luke almost landed on him there. That actually... I don't even think that was intentional. Real Deal just got, like, loose in the middle of the rhythm there and kind of saw it coming. He's like, ah, shit. And then that just got super close there for the both of them. But, either way, Luke's going to end up taking that 2nd place spot. Real Deal's now going to be relegated back to 3rd and try to hold on to that 3rd place spot. But he lost a ton of time that lap. Just had a rough lap right there. And Detail's honestly in distance to where, like, towards the end of this race, he could come back into this battle. So Real Deal's got to be careful about protecting that 3rd place position. He was able to get a top 5 at Barvo. He'd probably want to recover with a podium here. Unfortunately, I think Opix lagging out here, and Goose on the track now in a pretty unfortunate spot. So that's just something that the driver's going to have to deal with for the rest of this race. Little obstacle being added to the course. Definitely planned. Detail the different... Again, I love seeing the different lines through the sand. If you watch all the drivers take the sand, it seems like a lot of different options being taken and a lot of experimentation going down, and, you know, people just trying to figure out what they like. My favorite lap to watch it was the first lap where we had everybody grouped up going into it. That was just dope. That was just dope to see that, and I hope we get to see more sand sections like this in the future, because it's a bit more plays out a bit more realistic and looks like looks like an actual sand section. So it's just kind of dope in that way, and hope we get to see some more stuff like that in future tracks. It's a cool little thing here with the St. Louis revamp. You know, we kept a lot of the old, but we had to throw in some of the new. Ow. Alright, so time left in this race. I think we, like, pretty much just hit the halfway point right there. So there's actually a lot of time left. You think about it. There's plenty of time left in this race. And this lead battle is starting to heat up. Luke and Solange getting fairly close. And you see different lines from both of the drivers. Luke electing to roll that. Solange going with the jump line. Both pretty effective lines. Both really dependent on, you know, how well you roll, how well you jump. Through the rhythm, Solange making a mistake. Can Luke hit it clean this time? Almost. Messes it up at the very end. I think still gained time, though. But then Solange messes up this rhythm as well. And that might be the dagger. And Luke's going to get by him there. Can Solange fight back, though, because he's got the preferred line here. The inside, but gets really loose on the exit. And is not able to double in, which that inside is usually stronger. But if you're not able to hit that double in, then it's definitely not going to be stronger. And that's going to be Solange losing the lead here halfway through the race. Luke now in a position to get 2 in a row here if he can hold on to this victory, which sounds like a lot, which in a normal Grand Finals, 2 in a row to start off would be huge. Like, you'd be easily the favorite, but there's a lot of races left in this tournament, so not as much of an advantage as it would normally be. Ooh, Hunter with the slice and dice there by Shift. That was actually pretty cool. So yeah, Solange falling back now a little bit, but it looks like he's still pretty safe from Real Deal. Real Deal had some good laps earlier, but has kind of fallen off a bit and not competing as hard as he was before to try to catch up to Solange there. But Detail catching up to Real Deal, that is certainly still happening. And you see Solange still experimenting in the rhythm. Real Deal still, a lot of people still experimenting in this rhythm. It seems that Luke's the only one that's really gotten into the groove at this point. Detail almost had something going there. That was almost really nice, but kind of just screwed it up at the end. And that's what it's going to come down to. I think if we do race this race in the future, I think that rhythm section is going to be absolutely huge. Of course, there's a lot of sections in this track and a lot of places to gain time, but I think that rhythm is going to be the most important one. It's the most technical, and it definitely gains you the most time if you can really hit it for maximum speed. And it's really easy to mess up, so I think it's going to be super important. Roman there, just kind of in his own. Roman's probably disappointed with this race because he's just kind of like in his own little tier by himself. He has no one to battle with. Look at how far ahead he is from 6th, and look at how far behind he is from 5th. Like, that is just an unfortunate, or he is in 5th, sorry, how far behind he is from 4th. That's just an unfortunate position to be in, because you're just like, you're in your own level. Same thing with Vulcan here in 6th. Like, he's just so gone from everything. And then we get a little pack here with Hunter, Elite, and Shift, and they get their own little battle action there. But I think, I mean, this race, this track, St. Louis was a little technical. You know, back in the day, of course. I wouldn't say it was the most technical track. I think it was probably like a, oh, Real Deal messes up this rhythm. Hold on, we have a battle here potentially. Can Detail take this 3rd place spot? He almost had a really nice line there, but screws it up and has to roll super hard to finally get back on his rhythm, and that is going to screw him up tremendously. So now he's going to have to work all that time back on Real Deal yet again before he can go for that move another time. But yeah, I do think if we, like I said, like beforehand, this race, this track, when it was raced in previous seasons, wasn't the most technical Supercross, but it wasn't the easiest. It was probably like a good intermediate track. Probably somewhere in the middle, and then, you know, if we raced that track today, it would probably be like a 1.5 on the technicality scale. It'd just be super easy. So I had to switch it up a little bit here, gave it a little, you know, modified it a little bit, modernized it a little bit, added some new stuff, added some technicality, some interesting sections with multiple lines, and now I think if we race this today, it would be a much more interesting race, and it's probably back at that like 3, maybe 3.5 on the technicality scale. Low key, a pretty hard track. Like, there's some pretty easy sections, but then this whole like second half of the track here is tough with a tremendous amount of different lines. Can Detail nail the rhythm this time? That'd be huge. Triple, triple, double, and single out. That's not the fastest way through, but that's pretty freaking fast. That's probably the second fastest way through. And he just absolutely nails it that time by, and you know that's going to gain him some time on Real Deal if he can keep hitting that line consistently. Alright, let's get an update on the time here, 12:27. So I think we're at about 2 minutes plus a lap here remaining. So not much time left here in this race. Things are starting to close out, and things are just so separated at this point. It's actually crazy. Like I said, this track is definitely a lot more technical than the original. Like I said, probably somewhere this track is probably like a 4.5 on the technicality scale for this race, because nobody practiced it. But if people practiced it, it'd probably be like a 3.5. Still pretty technical, but you know, more on the intermediate side, leaning towards the technical side of things. Mostly because of this rhythm. This rhythm is just tough. But yeah, you also have other lines like right here. Like I said, you either have to roll that really clean. Hold on. This position is in jeopardy again. Detail trying to work by Real Deal again, but just not quite able to do it. But he gets a really good run on exit here. Has to roll out, though, and that screws him up. And Detail's been working on this 3rd place position all race long and just cannot get by Real Deal. He's had the speed, but every time Real Deal screws up, it seems to happen like right in front of him, and this battle continues with just a few laps remaining. And Detail probably knows that he's starting to run out of time, and he needs to make something happen here. He's really risking it there in the triple. He's going to work it, though. Gets a clean landing. Opts for the berm there. Like I said, a lot of line choice here. Going to try to be safe here. He's gaining time in that section. Detail's looking really strong here at the end. Can Real Deal hold on to this? Real Deal's going to elect to go for the inside. Ballsy call. I think the inside's the slower line, and he messes it up as well. And that may be it. That may be it. I think Detail could have this 3rd place locked up now. Ooh, rough run on the exit of the sand, but he's going to use it to go for the jump line. Messes up the jump line. There comes Real Deal back with the roll line. That's going to opt Detail into the inside here. Real Deal going for the outside. He nails the triples, something that we have not seen out of him very much through this race, but Detail's line comes into it at the end as he's able to clear the rollover, and Real Deal goes down in that section, and Detail's eventually going to settle out that spot. God, that got good for a little bit right there. And coming to the white flag right there, I believe, is going to be Luke closing out the race here potentially with 1 lap to go. And that was a really good battle there, that lap between Real Deal and Detail. That battle was good throughout the entire race, but that got super hot there in the last lap. I really liked the way that they battled into that rhythm again. Like, they took opposite lines, and mixed it up so close, but then it came together at the end. That rhythm is just dope to watch when you get two drivers that can really take it efficiently. Always leads to some pretty cool battles. You see Luke here in the final lap. Gonna nail the strong line through that rhythm. Very, very technical. Tough to do. But if you're able to do it, oh, getting loose through there. But if you're able to do it, it's going to gain you a ton of time on track. And coming across here, the last final rhythms here. We got one more whoop section to go, and then he's pretty much home free. And there it is. Luke's going to take his second win in a row here in the Blast from the Past tournament, kicking off the night. Solange going to come across the line in second. And Detail, after a hard-fought battle throughout that entire race, will settle into third. Real Deal with fourth. And eventually, we will have a fifth place finisher. There it is. Roman will settle into that fifth place position. So, order for St. Louis is going to be Luke, Solange, Detail, Real Deal, Roman, Vulcan, Hunter, Shift, Elite, Justin, Commando. Oh my god. And Opix. I had a fat burp coming up there. I couldn't prevent it. So there you go. There's your order for St. Louis revamp. A pretty dope race here. I'd love to see this track come back more in the future because it's actually turned out pretty cool. Especially like for such an old track, just like scrapped together here. Like freaking Darth Vader just tried to make this thing live on, but ended up being pretty cool. And let's get on to the next race here.